are coming to you live from $1 Million Studios. Your boys, Chris Speezak,
a.k.a. White Meat.
And the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines.
That would make me Dark Meat.
Speez and the Benchmark
Bigger,
Show.
plumper.
On a Thursday
More delicious
night,
dark meat.
January 3rd, 2019. The shenanigans are underway already for the new year. 2019. Happy 2019. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Baines.
Happy New Year to you.
And to all of you folks joining us here on Periscope and over on the YouTubes, we welcome you, and we welcome those of you listening to us after the fact on the podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you can catch your favorite podcast. You can hear the Speez and the Benchmark Show. And as always, as so many of you did last year, and we were very grateful for this in our journey to become super broadcasters, you can leave those super hearts over on Periscope, or you can hit us up on the tip jar, tinyurl.com/SB tip jar if you want to pitch into the cause. We always appreciate that. And tonight, we're going to be talking some Wrestle Kingdom 13, so if you got some thoughts on that, be sure to hit us up on the phone lines. 832-937-4559 is the number to get in.
832-93 Silky. Don't fucking point at me.
93. That's
Come
the cue.
on.
That's
manners.
TV stuff for the cue. Hello, Jody Mania. Good to see you. And all of you who won the various and sundry prizes that we gave away last week. Hopefully you saw my Twitter message earlier. They are all in the mail. They are all on the way.
Yep.
Even you folks over on the other side of the pond, Liam and Darren Kirby, got your stuff on the way. Jody, Kim, Rob, Mac Diesel, all of you guys that won stuff. Congrats to all of you. So all that stuff is in the mail and coming to you. So what's good with you this new year, Mr. Baines?
Nothing much. Just getting ready for the show January 12th. And that's about it.
That's about it. All right. What's up, Michael Berry Sr.? Good to see you, sir. So before we get into Wrestle Kingdom, you saw the little graphic, those of you watching the program at the beginning. We lost somebody that was very dear to many of us in the wrestling industry, whether you're just a fan or actually a part of the industry. Gene Okerlund passing away a couple days ago. Mean Gene. And, you know, we say this about a lot of people, that you'll never see another one of this guy. You'll never see another one of that guy. I don't know if that's the case with Mean Gene, but I will say this. He was the perfect guy for that era.
Yeah.
I mean, he just fit so perfectly into what was going on with everything that guys like Hogan and Macho Man and all those guys. In fact, when you go back, I challenge you to find a clip where Mean Gene is interviewing one of those guys in the back where they don't refer to him by name.
Yeah.
I mean, he was as much a part of those great interviews and those great promos as the wrestlers themselves. It was amazing. He was just perfect for that time.
I was listening to the radio today, and they had like Ric Flair on the show on Busted Open Radio, and that's one of the things he was saying was that, you know, when he knew he had Mean Gene in an interview segment, he didn't have to worry because Mean Gene would lead them. They knew the point of where to get to, and Mean Gene would lead them if they'd start going off track and get them back to where they need to be. It's like he is hands down the best like interviewer there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
I can't think of a close second even.
Yeah, there's no one in a close second.
Yeah, and he was, again, for that time and place, he was just perfect. He fit in perfectly. I had the good fortune to say hello to him at WrestleMania weekend when we went over to WrestleCon or whatever it's called. I think it's WrestleCon this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was seated at his table there, just as nice and personable as you could possibly be. And it was later on that I came back to ask after him. And somebody said that, you know, somebody had taken him to the restroom because apparently he was in pretty bad shape. He just wasn't getting around very well. But I had sat and, you know, and talked with him for a few minutes, and you never would have gotten that impression.
Yeah.
You never would have known that there was anything wrong with him because it was smiling ear to ear, just happy to sit there and talk to whoever came by. Just a super guy. Can't forget the Royal Rumble sign, backstage falling, and Gene saying, "What the fuck was that?" Yeah, that was pretty good.
Or the one with Flair winning the title at the Royal. That was a Royal Rumble too.
Somebody put that on Twitter earlier today.
Put out that damn cigarette.
Put out that damn cigarette. Yeah, and there was one with was it Wendy Richter? I can't remember who. It was one of the female wrestlers. And she said, you know, I've been working too hard, and I've come too far to have somebody lay on top of me and cover me up for this title. And Gene just starts cracking up laughing. Like he just lost it. So So our condolences to Mean Gene and to his family and all of the wrestling fans and wrestling family out there who enjoyed all of his work. I know we did.
Oh yes,
and hopefully
spending that many time and going from the AWA to the WWF to WCW. I mean, he was still he was one of the bright spots in every place he went.
Absolutely. And I think anybody who was a part of whatever promotion he was a part of would have said the same thing about him. Andre putting his whole hand over Mean Gene's face, Bob Ruski says. Yeah, that's another one.
Him putting on Andre's coat and putting his hand up to it.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for all of you folks who are sharing the program. We appreciate that. Hope you'll continue to do so. Get as many folks in here as we can.
Personal favorite is the training montage with Hogan.
Oh, he was just great. He was just great. And thank you, Get the Tables, for the many Super Hearts. We appreciate that. And to Michael Berry Sr. for the Super Hearts as well. Get the Tables over at the Spurs game tonight. Still joining us. That's how loyal our fan base is.
Boom.
Still checking us out there. So, going to talk a little Wrestle Kingdom 13 here tonight. So, first of all, any of you joining us in the chat, I asked this on Twitter earlier, asking if anybody was planning on getting up at 4 a.m. U.S. time to check it out live. I know I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah, me too.
Not to say I'm not looking forward to the event, but...
Yeah, I just don't, get up that early to watch wrestling.
I don't think is there any sporting event that you would get up at the crack of dawn for? Like maybe if my team was in the Super Bowl or something, and for some ungodly reason the Super Bowl was being played at 4 in the morning.
Or happened to be overseas, because I had a friend, a good friend of mine that's a Patriots fan too, and last year he was in Ireland. And so during the Super Bowl, and literally he was at this bar and they stayed open late just so he could watch the Super Bowl, which was about, the Super Bowl, our time was about 3 in the morning his time. So that I could see, but yeah.
No. If you're a fan of that particular team or whatever, what's up, Burt Macklin? Good to have you in.
But even a WrestleMania, I wouldn't. I mean, I didn't get up to watch the fucking Crown Jewel. Well, not Crown Jewel. Which was the one that came on at 5 in the morning?
Oh, that's a good question. Was it? That might have been the Australian one.
Yeah, maybe that was
Super Show.
Yeah,
because I watched that one on. I'm pretty sure I watched that one on replay.
Yeah, I did too.
I'll be up to watch Jericho win, says Brian. We'll see about that. We're gonna talk about that here shortly. So, what should we do here, Silky? Work from the top on on down to make sure that we hit the big matches, or start from the beginning. Let's start with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Kenny Omega taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. I saw a clip of Omega cutting a promo earlier today about Tanahashi and how he's got no shot. Kenny's bigger than him, he's faster than him, he's stronger than him, so on and so forth. Omega's promos have never been something that I get terribly interested in. Not to say they're terrible promos, but it's not a guy that sells me on his matches because of his promos. But there are those that will say that it's been a somewhat lackluster title run for Kenny Omega up to this point. Not sure that that's entirely fair, but this match should be an outstanding one.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an amazing match because with the two that are in the ring, they can definitely tell a story, and I think that of course this is going to be even more interesting with the announcement of All Elite Wrestling, and to see. Because, as of now, they haven't mentioned Kenny Omega as being one of the talents going. So this will let us know one way or the other what's happening. Because there's a good chance if he loses that title, he's probably clearing himself up to go All Elite.
Yeah, that's another thing. We might as well talk about All Elite since we brought it up here, at the top of the show. I don't know what else we've learned about All Elite other than getting a logo. And knowing that Cody and the Bucks are involved, which we kind of knew from the get-go. And that we've got the Double or Nothing show coming up, which appears to be somewhat of an all-in sequel, if I'm not mistaken.
It's all-in to Double or Nothing.
So, aside from that, there's not really anything else that, we can continue to speculate on it.
Everything's up in the air because, if they want to be a major force like a possible eventual number 2 to WWE, they need TV.
Yes, no question about that.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the big deal is, are they going to get TV? And if so, where are they going to get it?
Yes. Because, there's a lot of rumors saying that they're in talks with TBS and TNT, Turner Broadcasting, to bring wrestling back there, which I think would be a good move just, for the lineage of Cody and Dusty. you know, bringing back the 605 wrestling. You know what I mean?
Well, and take these rumors with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
As we've learned with what happened with Impact Wrestling and their TV deal.
Yeah.
Since that was kind of crazy. Michael Berry Sr. saying Britt Baker signed with All Elite Wrestling. I missed that one. I did see that Brandy is the chief branding officer.
Oh.
The Stephanie McMahon of the All Elite Wrestling promotion. So, yeah, at this point, I think it's premature of us to try to guess whether or not anybody's going to be a part of that.
But, I mean, you have to. I mean, there's not going to be speculation seeing that, you know, the Elite were something that Kenny Omega and the Bucks were. And then they opened it up once they did the split from the Bullet Club. So you start a company called All Elite Wrestling. There's going to be talks about Kenny Omega.
Yeah, well, and certainly he's going to be a guy that they try to grab. There's no question about that.
And, I mean, they're being very cryptic right now, besides the obvious that have already signed with them of who they're getting. But, you know, I saw, I think, a tweet or a article where Cody was mentioning props to the people who are, you know, have the balls to take the road less traveled, kind of. Right. And it got people talking about possibly, like, with people waiting for their contracts from WWE and Impact to run out so they can sign with All Elite.
Right. And shout out to you, Mac Diesel. Thanks for the shares and for the super hearts there, buddy. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's, again, I don't know that we know a whole hell of a lot more other than it's finally officially a thing. Yeah. And we are officially getting a sequel to All In. Aside from that, you know, again, it's pure speculation at this point. So back to that title match in at Wrestle Kingdom tomorrow. I don't know that this really changes anything in terms of whether or not, because people are going to, like you said, people are going to speculate that Cody's going to lose the title back to Juice Robinson because of All Elite, and the Young Bucks are going to win the tag titles because of All Elite and everything like that. That's one of the things that's unfortunate about guys jumping from brand to brand and things like that. Yeah. You know, it kind of gives away, you know, some of the intrigue as far as the matches are concerned.
But generally, you kind of know, especially with most builds, where a match is going, and you don't watch to get surprised more than you watch to see how it happens.
Right.
It's like when all the stuff, you know, I give you shit and stuff about spoiling the Dominion show. I still fucking watched it, and I was still thoroughly entertained, even though I knew who was going to win the match.
Sure, absolutely.
That's the kind of beauty of wrestling. Is a little different than when you spoil a movie, because sometimes when you spoil a movie, that's really all you're watching the movie for, would be the ending to see how it ends. But you can know 100%. That's why people go back and watch the old school wrestling, and Attitude Era Wrestling. They know who's winning these matches, but they still like to see how it happened.
Right. No, I agree. But it does take some of the luster off the live event and watching it live to see what happens. If you can kind of guess, you know, which is one of the reasons that you and I tend to try to look at this as fans and not try to book everything so that we don't, you know, we can actually enjoy them.
Mac Diesel, please.
Mac Diesel still
explain the appeal of the Young Bucks.
He's still not feeling the Young Bucks.
He's still not feeling
So let's talk about Kenny and Tanahashi specifically. Yeah. So who do you have going over in this one? I think this is a tougher match to pick than.
Well, it's only honestly, it's only tougher now because of All Elite. If All Elite had not been announced, it would be Kenny all the way, because he's new into his title run. I don't think you build a story like that for him to take over a year to get that title off of Okada just for him to lose it, you know, within a few months.
Which is what's part of what's unfortunate about the timing of the All Elite announcement. Yeah. Because if it does, in fact, lead to, as if we look back in retrospect and Kenny lost the title because of that, you know, again, it doesn't take away from the greatness that was the build to him actually winning the title.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'd be nice to see him get a nice long run and see somebody else come up with a similar type build to be the one to take it off of him.
I mean, and when you put all of that into a build, you want that to be rewarded with a nice lengthy, I'm not saying like go back to back like another 700-day title run like Okada did, but you know, it doesn't even have to be a full year. It could be like 10 months, or hell, it could be like 6 months, but 6 months of defending that title strong.
Right.
You know,
right.
We just need quality title reign, which unfortunately, with Kenny, we haven't really gotten as much. I mean, his match with Ishii was awesome. You know,
his match with Cody over here in the States was good.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
It was it was kind of rushed in terms of that. That could have been the one that they built and built and built and built.
Yeah, and I think maybe because of politics and New Japan not wanting the main event a show with two non-Japanese people.
Gaijin guys. Yeah, exactly.
So,
and Cody appears to be on the same road as Kenny Omega potentially would be. So to give the title back and forth or from one of those guys to the other, you're kind of still working in the same boat. Michael Berry keeps saying Tanahashi joining the Bullet Club and winning the match. So, boy, that would be something.
That would be something.
With Kenny and Tanahashi, do you want to grow your audience with a Gaijin champ or go with your vet? Yeah, that's...
I mean, I would go with Kenny just because of the youth. I mean,
yeah, I think Kenny wins this match.
Tanahashi is still able to put up these great matches, but, I mean, you got to look at, from a business standpoint, how long can Tanahashi keep putting on 5-star matches? And that's what their focus is. Their heavyweight championship, they're focused on like the 5-star, 6, 7, stupid, but 7-star rated fucking matches from your heavyweight champ. It's not WWE style where, you know, it's about the story no matter who's the champ, and sometimes the actual heavyweight champ takes a backseat when they've got a hotter storyline going.
Right.
Like with New Japan, it's all about that IWGP heavyweight championship and who can represent and go out there and have. It's almost like the WWE's version of the New Japan version of the WWE's Intercontinental Championship. And what I mean by that is that it's like the workhorse title. Like the IWGP Heavyweight Champion traditionally always has these great matches. And like they build this title reign around having these epic matches.
Definitely. And that's the way it's been. It's definitely the way it's been. I see what you did with Cody Rhodes and Cody on the road. No, that was not what I did there. Damn it. Think Hogan NWO. Yeah, look, Tanahashi going full on heel and joining the Bullet Club, as popular as that guy is over there, that would be very much a Hogan NWO style moment. Let's hop on over to the phone lines here because our buddy Sasha Reigns is with us on the phone lines. What's going on, Sasha Reigns? How are you?
I'm doing good.
Are you going to be watching Wrestle Kingdom this weekend?
No, I already got other plans.
You already got other plans. All right, then. Well, what's good with you? How was your new year?
Good. I didn't watch the ball drop, though.
You didn't watch the ball drop? Well, that's okay. So,
I was hot tubbing.
Oh, okay. So no thoughts on, are you a New Japan fan at all? Do you watch New Japan wrestling?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, then. Well, that's okay. You know, we'll get back to talking WWE news soon enough, I'm sure. What's on your mind? Anything in particular you want to talk about? Or are you just calling up to say hello because you're such a big fan of the show?
I think that Seth turns heel.
You think Seth turns heel? Is that what you said?
Yeah, by being Bobby Lashley with the chair.
I wouldn't say that's heel. I think that's more of him just tired of the current situation and stuff and taking it out because all this outside interference and mind game stuff that cost him.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as him turning heel.
No, I don't think they can afford to have Seth go heel at this point. They got so many other guys jumping over the heel side of things. It wouldn't be the greatest thing. So anything else on your mind, Sasha Reigns?
Well, I'm happy that Bayley entered the Rumble.
You got Bayley winning the Rumble? Is that what you said?
I'm happy that she entered it.
Oh, you're happy that she entered it. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. That's we'll start getting more of those announcements. And Sasha, we're going to let you go here. We're going to get back to our Wrestle Kingdom discussion. But thank you very much for the phone call. We always appreciate it. So we should expect to see many more Royal Rumble announcements in the coming weeks as more folks, the New Day, are in, as they always are, and so on and so forth. But 832-937-4559 is the number to get in. So we talk about this.
832-93 Silky.
832-93 Silky. I heard Big Show turn heel and then backface twice at a recent house show. That's
Wouldn't
fine.
be surprising.
No, that would not be surprising at all. So we both got Kenny Omega winning in the main event there. I was going to ask this question, and I'm curious to hear from those of you in the chat room as well. Aside from just talking about the matches here, because the answer to the question I'm about to ask for me is in this next match that we're going to talk about. As far as guys with the most to gain and the guys with the most to lose at Wrestle Kingdom this year, let's talk about the guys with the most to gain. Who do you see as being a guy who could benefit most from having a great showing at Wrestle Kingdom this year?
I would say it would have to be. I'm torn between Omega, because, like you said, the reign hasn't been where we'd like it to be, so he needs this more, or Ospreay.
You think Ospreay?
I think Ospreay.
Just because he's beating a guy of Ibushi's caliber? Or?
Yeah, just because he's in there with a guy of Ibushi's caliber, and this could be, his step up into people seeing him as a legitimate contender for the heavyweight championship.
I see. Okay.
So
Michael
win or
Rhodes?
lose, I think that Ospreay needs this good showing, or else he'll be stuck in the juniors, which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And Michael Berry says Cody Rhodes, maybe he can lose, but needs to lose strong. That's fair. My guy, as far as most to gain, I would say Juice Robinson. I think just because Juice Robinson had, for him to win that U.S. title, to beat Jay White, we talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, great.
And then to very unceremoniously lose it to Cody Rhodes, and then just go in the tank after that. I think this could be very good for him to. I think he's going to win the match, number one. But I think if he goes out there and has a great match and really has a good showing on the grandest of stages like that, it would be a nice bounce back for him and put him in a good spot.
Now, do you think he's going to win the match because of the All Elite announcement, or regardless of that, you thought he was going to win?
No, I really think
All Elite changed your pick?
No, I think he was going to win anyway, just because I feel like for him to get that far and to win the U.S. title, and then to not only lose it, but then have the poor showing in the G1. And
well, he had the poor showing in G1 first, and then he lost it.
Sorry, poor showing in the G1, then he lost the title. And then to lose the title, lose a rematch for the title, again, it feels like the guy would be getting buried at that point. And I don't think that they're ready to bury the guy.
But also, are they ready to, push him up that far? Because that would make him the only person to hold that U.S. title more than once. And
it's been around. I mean, we've had 4 U.S. champs. I mean,
yeah, but they've all had lengthy reigns.
True.
So
that's true.
It would. I think that I don't see him. I think honestly, Cody keeps the title, because I just don't see Juice Robinson, especially after the G1, how they did him there and how he lost. I don't see him really being the guy anymore. Maybe he's fallen out of favor, who knows? But I feel Cody retains, great match, and then maybe New Year's Dash or something, he'll drop it to somebody else out of the blue.
And that's
They're
totally
real good at doing that.
Totally possible. But if I'm thinking of a guy who really needs some upward trajectory after the last 6 months or so of 2018, to me, Juice Robinson is a guy that could be very good. And a good pick in that regard. Sorry to not finish that thought. And Bobarewski brings up Jay White. And Jay White's another guy that's on that upward trend. And for him to get a win over Okada at Wrestle Kingdom would be very big.
Yeah, but I don't know if he needs that, like you say, or maybe I was misunderstanding what the
just most to gain, who's
because I don't think he loses much in a strong showing but a loss. And a strong showing and a win pumps him up more, but I don't think that's the career-defining moment of Jay White if he beats Okada.
Okay, that's fair enough, yeah. And again, certainly we could go back and forth. I mean, there's plenty of guys. Anybody, let's just say this, anybody who gets a win at Wrestle Kingdom, it's going to do wonders for them. It's going to be good for them. There's no question about that.
Definitely.
But there are some guys that I feel like have further to go than others. And Jay White's another good pick, because that could be one that really puts him up on that very top tier. And maybe he's a guy that says, okay, now I'm ready for Omega. Give me my shot at Omega. Daniel Price says Tanahashi doesn't need the title again. If Omega drops, he jumps to All Elite, or very outside shot, he shows up in the Rumble. But he's got Cody dropping a juice as well. I think the Chaos Mole shows himself and throws off Okada.
That could be.
Could be as well. Now, let's go the opposite direction now. We talked about guys who had the most to gain in Wrestle Kingdom. Who has the most to lose?
Juice.
In Wrestle Kingdom. You think it's Juice?
Juice, because like you said, it's almost verging on getting buried. If he loses this match again, or he loses this rematch, I think that tarnishes him from even being a title contention. You know what I mean? Because no one's going to look at him like a bona fide person that could be champion after, what happened with the G1 and what happened with him losing in his second defense. I think he defended it against Dave Finlay. Maybe.
Could be. No, I think it was his first one. I think it was his very first defense. He lost it. So, yeah, it wasn't a good look for him. My guy that I had with the most to lose was the guy I want to talk about in the next match is Naito. I think for Naito to lose to Jericho again would just be a really bad look. And he's a very popular guy, and I don't think people are going to jump off the bandwagon and just not enjoy him at all after that.
Jericho's status, loss to him is not, I don't think it's going to hurt Naito.
One loss to him, maybe not.
No, I mean,
for him to lose to him again, I think that's a bad look, man.
Did it? I don't think, and I may be in the minority, but I don't think it hurt CM Punk that he lost twice to The Rock at the Royal Rumble and at the Elimination Chamber, because he had great showings in both matches. He showed everyone he was on The Rock's level. And The Rock is considered, no matter what Juanito thinks, I know he doesn't like him, but The Rock is a fucking legend in this business.
Right.
So to be able to show that you're on par and that you can go with the top, that's like, a basketball fan stepping on a court and losing by 2 in a game of one-on-one to LeBron James. Even though he lost by 2 and LeBron won, it's still fucking amazing that he even got that far and was that competitive with arguably the greatest player that plays.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And Jericho's of that same vein, as he's one of the greatest that's ever done it. So a loss to him twice, I don't think hurts him. Now, it might, in turn, a win by him, I think, will push him more to that established, like showing that he beat that vet. But I just don't think that it's going to hurt him that much.
Yeah, I just figure that at this point, for him to lose to Jericho again, and I totally agree with everything that you're saying. As far as, look, Jericho's a legend, there's no question about it. But, for Naito to get so close, a lot of people had him being the guy that was going to take the belt off of Okada, and a lot of people were unhappy with the decision when he didn't. But it was still a great match. And again, he looked great, ended up winning the IC title, and then he drops it to Chris Jericho. I think I was shocked at that. I didn't see that coming a mile away. Now, it's not.
I saw it coming.
It's not something that, again, like you said, it's not a career killer.
Yeah, no. When you say like the most to lose, I think of more like the Juice. Like, say, that's almost a career killer with him in New Japan if he loses this match. And it might be on purpose. That could be honestly what they've set up, is this situation where he needs it and he has to wrestle for his livelihood in that company. You know what I mean? And so that could have been why he took that big steaming dump in the G1 and then lost to Cody, is to build up for this moment.
Yeah,
so win, lose, or draw, if he lose, it's not necessarily a loss, but a decided loss, or, kind of like how he lost the title, where it was back and forth, but Cody pretty much dominated for the most part. Like, we need showing so good that, even if he loses, the people will still be like, okay, Juice has got it. He's going to be a future champion.
And we don't necessarily always agree about wins and losses. We had a very colorful conversation a few weeks back on this program about whether or not wins and losses matter in pro wrestling. My take is simply this: the last 2 matches, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't watch as much New Japan as you do. The last two matches that I would remember of Naito would be the loss to Chris Jericho where he dropped the Intercontinental title and the loss to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom last year in the main event when he didn't win the title. And so for another loss to Chris Jericho where he doesn't win the title, I mean, you start racking up these losses in big matches. Sooner or later, you got to start winning some of those matches. And now we're talking about a 1-year period where on the biggest stage over the course of an entire year, Naito didn't get any wins.
No, he got wins. I mean, he beat Suzuki.
No, I'm talking about in terms of bigger, huge matches,
yeah.
big stage. You know, the 3 matches that people are going to talk about, you know, most recent matches that people are going to remember from him are all going to be losses. And it's kind of similar to what we see, again, not to make WWE comparisons, but I will anyway. Samoa Joe's a guy like that. People have been talking about how Samoa Joe hadn't won a pay-per-view match in literally years. I mean, he keeps getting up to that point, then he just doesn't win the big match. And at some point you go, well, you know, not really all that interested in seeing Joe in a big match because I know he's just not going to fucking win. And I don't think Naito's going to be in that position necessarily.
No, I don't think he will.
But with a loss, it could be.
I mean, but I still go to it's Jericho.
Well, and Daniel Price brings up a good point. You know, it's not just the matches themselves, but Jericho has punked Naito on numerous occasions. You know, like jumping him at shows and beat the shit out of him and everything like that.
But he did that before the last show and he fucking won.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. At some point, you got to figure, okay, Naito's going to get his shot at redemption here. We'll see how it plays out. I've got Naito winning this match. I think he takes the title back.
I mean,
if for no other reason than I'd like to see, just from a personal standpoint, not thinking of it in a booking aspect, I'd like to see that title. Again, I'm not a huge fan of titles being out of circulation unless when they come back in, they're a huge deal. Jericho, I think we said has had the one title defense.
Yeah, Evil.
Against Evil. You know, and not to say, again, I enjoy the shit out of Chris Jericho every time he shows up, whether he's a heel or a face. I just dig the guy. But I think Naito gets. I'm with Daniel Price.
Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Because you kind of praise Brock Lesnar for that shit.
No, because
I
think
I wouldn't praise is a big, maybe overstating it, but you just said you don't mind that Brock Lesnar, if he only shows up a couple times to defend it throughout the course of the year because it's such an event when he does. It's the same thing with Jericho, though.
Yeah, but I don't get the same sense. I don't get the same sense because it's not the biggest title. It's not the championship title. If it's a
so you said you'd be okay if Jericho was doing this if he was the IWG heavyweight champion.
Yeah, because the IWGP heavyweight championship really doesn't get defended all that often.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it does, but the IWGP champion wrestles often.
Yeah, but I've said that before. Like, I don't give a shit if Brock Lesnar's on TV every week in 6-man tag matches. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me. That's just me personally.
I mean, and to me, I think that I would rather that because at least it's showing and the title's present. Even if he's doing tag matches, 6-man tags, you know, every now and then showing up just to get into a fight with whoever they're pushing him to fight at the pay-per-view. You know, I would like that. But
well, and I think it also would be different if it was set up in such a way to where the guys who were getting these title shots against Chris Jericho, you know, again with Lesnar, somebody wins the Rumble and they get a shot at Lesnar, or somebody wins Elimination Chamber and they get a shot at Lesnar, or somebody wins a Fatal 4-Way match at this pay-per-view and they get a shot at Lesnar in the next pay-per-view. So it's like there's a build up to it. Whereas, you know, the Evil match was kind of like, okay, he has a match coming up against Evil. You know, I mean, I'm sure there was more build to it than that.
I mean, it was built right after he won the title, because when he won the title, he continued to attack Naito until Evil was the one that fought him off. And so that's what built up that match. Yeah, I mean, it's just a different thing for me personally, but who do you have winning that match? You got Naito or that's a tough
Jericho?
One. I'm going to go with Naito, and just because I think that he's going to win, but I don't think it's that crucial if he loses. Because, like I say, I still maintain my status of Jericho's such a legend that even if just to show you're competitive with someone on that level doesn't hurt you.
It's a good showing for you. In a lot of ways, the Intercontinental is way more prestigious than the heavyweight, so he's got a point. Yeah, it's at least in New Japan.
Not in New Japan, no.
Are you talking about in WWE? Sorry.
Yeah, if we're talking WWE, then yes. But New Japan, no.
Jericho, we're defending it more regularly and having series of close but no cigar matches. Getting Japanese and British guys over, sure, as it stands, no. Okay. Juanito's got Naito as well. Yeah. Thanks for the super hearts, Juanito. Appreciate that, buddy. Let's get over to the Never Openweight Championship. Not because it's a particularly, it is a prestigious championship, but it is a very interesting matchup, as you said. Yeah. You've got Never Openweight champion Kota Ibushi, who Silky and I both kind of said, when the fuck did he win the Never Openweight Championship? Never Openweight champion Kota Ibushi taking on Will Ospreay. This seems to be the one that everybody is pointing to in terms of
match of the night.
Match of the night could be an absolute showstopper.
It will 100% be match of the night for the spots. Like, I think it's one of those where you're going to have to create categories, and that's the good thing about Wrestle Kingdom is that they have match of the night, but most times they have so many good matches. You got to create categories just to show all the matches the proper amount of respect for what they do. Now, this is going to be spot for spot the best match of the night. I think as far as psychology and telling a story, I think Omega and Tanahashi will be the match of the night. It's almost like whatever your flavor is.
There's a little
in
something
wrestling.
for everybody.
Yeah, so in this match, it's just I don't know if you've seen the little gif of...
Sorry, just going to hit the OK button there.
I don't know if you've seen the little gif where Ibushi went and gave him a Hurricane Run and he flipped to his feet. And it wasn't even, besides the fact that was fucking cool, just that intense stare down. Like, you could see it in Ospreay's eyes that he fucking wants this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's mainly for that. Like, he wants to be looked at as a person who could go against Kenny Omega and take the title, or go against Tanahashi should he win and take the title. So I think that this is going to be a great match, and it's going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be dangerous match where they're going to both pull out stuff that's going to leave us in awe.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm with you in terms of, I don't want to call this a spot fest because I think that has kind of a negative connotation to it. But in terms of high-flying, daredevil, just, eyes pop out of your head, holy shit
This is going to be the acceptable moment where, I don't mean it to sound as callous as it does, but this is going to be where it's the one time it's acceptable for Will Ospreay to almost kill himself. Because, this is Wrestle Kingdom.
That's right. It's Wrestle Kingdom. It's Kota Ibushi.
I'm not a big fan of those moves that, could really hurt you, if it goes wrong. But if there's ever a time to pull it out, it's on the biggest stage of them all.
Yeah, totally agree. Daniel Price says he thinks Ospreay gets close, but Ibushi works out of it and gets the win. That's a tough one to call.
He didn't even say his finish.
Yeah, that's because I don't know what the fuck a Kamagoye.
Yeah, it's the knee.
I'm a big fan of the Kamagoye. I practice it often on my own time. Like I practice my moonsault.
Yeah, that you always criticize. Can't even fucking do one. Yet you criticize someone who can do one.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
It's a tough call. I'm going to go with Ospreay. I'm calling it because, one, traditionally, that from what I've seen the past few years, the Never Openweight title always changes at Wrestle Kingdom, for number one. And for number two, I think that this is Ibushi's whole run probably was to get to this point with him and Ospreay.
Yeah.
To get him a title that's like a heavyweight in the, put him on that level of being looked at in the same vein as a Kenny Omega.
Fair enough.
I'm going with Ospreay.
Yeah, Ospreay's a great pick.
Plus the Stormbreaker is fucking awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that guy does is fucking awesome. Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, it's just a tough call.
I'm
kind of with you. I think Ospreay takes it as well because I think he. Again, I'm looking at it from a booking perspective. If I'm looking at it from a wrestling perspective, I give the edge to Kota Ibushi. I just think that guy, he's so fucking good, man. He
They
just
both
does
are, though.
everything so well.
That's the downside, or not downside, but that's the hard. What makes it so hard is because you're almost not wrong for thinking either one of them will win because, I mean, they both have a lot of the same. They have the strikes, the hard-hitting strikes. They have the seamless, like, they're Ospreay and Ibushi are two of the only people that I can see, and I'm 6'3", 275 pounds. And they make the stuff look so easy that it's like, maybe for a hot second, I'm like, I think I could probably do that because I look real. Like when he does when Ibushi does the thing where he jumps over the top rope onto the second, that metal part, and
insane.
then does the moonsault, like it's so fucking effortless that for a hot second, you're like, I think I could probably do that. I think I could. But
I agree. I agree. And sorry if we missed some of your Periscope chats because the chat was acting up on us. Greetings to DMB, whoever that is. Welcome to you, sir. Let's just fucking pray whoever wins. What did that say? I didn't read the rest of it because it's still trying to come through.
Whoever wins the title does not defend it against Goto.
Okay, then.
Yeah, because Goto always seems to get it back.
I think Omega stays until he faces Kota later in the year and then he loses. Okay, yeah. Well, we'll see.
I don't see Kota as being the heavyweight champ only because Kota still, I think, is a free agent.
I was going to say, he's not a full-time guy yet, is he?
No, I think Kota's still a free agent. He likes the freedom to. That's why he.
Where else does he wrestle?
I mean, I have no.
Wherever it is, I don't fucking watch it because I don't think he hops over to Dragon Gate where.
No, he's not going to go to Dragon Gate. He's going to go like maybe the Rev Pro Progress.
I was going to say I don't see him coming over here to Ring of Honor or doing anything like that. They would have made a huge deal of it if he came over here. Well, we shall see. Okay, let's get on to the tag team action. The heavyweight tag team titles on the line with the Guerrillas of Destiny taking on Evil and Sonata and the Young Bucks. Young Bucks get one more shot at those titles before All Elite Wrestling starts. And again, I don't know how much of the announcement of All Elite Wrestling
factors into this one because I mean, honestly, I wouldn't pick in the Young Bucks in this one anyway.
I wasn't going to either.
They were the least, so I'm going to go with. I think that Evil and Sonata will win back the tag team titles, and I give them the edge because I think later on it's going to Tama Tonga is going to may factor into that heavyweight title match.
Think so?
And it could be a way to get the title off Omega, if they decide to go that route. Or it could be like, I think it was Michael Berry was saying, Tanahashi joining the Bullet Club.
Could be. Yeah.
I see that because I know Tama's been kind of face-ish. The Guerrillas have been kind of face. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
I think so.
In the build-up to this match, they've been more faces than heels.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a red herring to get people to like them. So when, they go through and they're somehow fucked out of winning the tag team titles, everyone has that sympathy. And then at the end, which would be fucking awesome, honestly, now the more I think about it, if Tanahashi joins the Bullet Club,
that would be
amazing.
Fucking
epic.
See, Michael Berry Sr. is going to be blowing up our fucking feed
that would be
if that actually
epic.
Happens. Now, if I find out that you read a spoiler somewhere, Michael Berry Sr.
How can he read a spoiler to a live fucking show?
No, because he finally got a copy of the script or something. Somebody floated the script somewhere.
What the fuck?
That happens with WWE all the time. Those bastards always talk about how, I saw a leaked script of the upcoming show. People always talk about that. So, no, have you noticed that nobody ever does that with New Japan like they do with WWE?
Oh yeah,
you don't hear I'm hearing that they're going to put the title on, blah blah blah. They're going to put the title on Tanahashi because they're thinking about a heel turn and blah blah. You don't hear that shit.
Yeah,
and it's delightful. It's one of the things that I really like about New Japan is I don't have to listen to all that bullshit.
Yeah,
like we have to hear over here about WWE stuff. So I've got the Guerrillas retaining, and I think you've convinced me of this actually based on your contention that the OG Bullet Club has truly gone OG, back to the whole gang mentality, and we are not going to stop until we have all the fucking belts. And I really do think that makes a lot of sense. And based on just the way that Tama Tonga in particular, being the most vocal among them, the way he carries himself and the way he talks and the way, my limited knowledge of the origins of the Bullet Club and the way that they were back in the day.
Yeah, they were.
It seems like this could be the showcase for them to get back to that original Bullet Club. We're going to fucking take everything. And I think that they retain on that. So we shall see. Red Leaf Retrocast says, does Hiromu make an appearance at Wrestle Kingdom 13? Basically just a, showing up and saying, tip of the cap to the fans kind of thing.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because, he wasn't.
Is it just a painful reminder of,
the stupid move?
What can happen and I don't know.
No, but I just think that he's not on that level. Like Shibata was kind of like that tweener. People liked him. Some people may have hated him, but he never changed the style he wrestled. So he was very respected and a long tenured member of New Japan. So when he got hurt, yes, there was him coming out and, it was an emotional moment with Takahashi. Which one? Takahashi. I don't see it like that. Like he's fairly new, couple years in. Like I don't see it was a stupid move for number one.
It was.
There was a difference. Like what sounds more badass and who would you rather see? Shibata, who literally injured himself. He headbutted Okada so hard that it fucked up his neck. Or Tanahashi, who agreed to have a guy that was shorter than him throw him overhead and he landed on his head and broke his neck. Which one sounds more badass?
Takahashi. But I know what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
Totally with you. We've got all kinds of theories as to who the mole is, but we shall see.
Roppongi BC.
Yeah, as weird as it sounds, there's a vast difference from a headbutt gone wrong and a spot that should have never happened that killed a career. And that's
exactly.
I think that's exactly what you're saying, Silky. Heel champion Tanahashi with Fale as his bodyguard. I like the sound of that.
Michael Berry.
You sold everybody on this Tanahashi heel turn.
I might go back and change my pick and pick Tanahashi. I think I'm going Michael Berry. I'm saying Tanahashi. I changed my pick.
All right. He's going Bobby Heenan.
We will find something. One of these pops in here to send you if that fucking shit happens.
If that happens, we will do it. We've got, you know what? We'll send him the Kenny Omega pop.
There you go.
The fallen Kenny Omega pop figure. After he loses that could be very interesting. So, anything else we want to get through? Obviously, there's so many great matches on here.
Jay White and Okada.
I think is going to be great.
That's the one I'm looking most forward to. I think this could be like for your stylized, your old school traditional heel is Jay White.
Yeah,
and everyone who's watched this knows I am a huge Jay White mark.
As am I. He's great.
So
he's great.
I'm interested in seeing this match. I think this is his year. I think Jay White wins, not just because I'm a Jay White fan, but I think they need that. We've put they put Okada on this pedestal.
Yep.
And now we need to show that he's a wrestler just like everyone else. I know he lost to Jay White at the G1.
Yes. But
when it came down to it, who was wrestling to win? To go to the championship and face Tanahashi. It wasn't Jay White, it was Okada. So he's even in losing, he still ended up better than Jay White in the G1.
Yeah, and just we talk about storytelling in matches, and again, I didn't have as much of an appreciation for this until I started hanging out with this guy and the folks over at DZW and seeing what goes into making these matches. And in terms of guys who can tell stories in the ring, we talked about how much we enjoyed the Juice Robinson and Jay White match because that was great in-ring storytelling.
Exactly.
And Okada's another guy that he's such a good storyteller in the ring that I really feel like, again, you say a little something for everybody. If you like that in-ring storytelling, I think this is definitely going to be one that you enjoy as well. And I've got Jay White going over in this one as well. I'm with you. I think he takes the win here. DMB, yeah, we talked about Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay. That's definitely going to be a good one. You want to talk about clashing styles? You've got the Rev Pro British Championship on the line with our boy Zack Sabre Jr., the technical specialist that he is, taking on somebody who doesn't strike me as technical, but just going to go and smack the shit out of you Ishii. Who do you have in this one? This I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be a good match because it's always good to see that clash of styles, to see what's going to win, the pin or the sword, what's mightier.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
That's
a true embodiment of this match. And so I'm going to say Zack Sabre Jr. just because Tomohiro Ishii has had that belt for quite a bit. So I think it's time for him to drop it, and why not? I mean, if you're Rev Pro, have your championship change on a major stage like Wrestle Kingdom. I mean,
we
that's
saw it with
win.
the NWA and All In this year. Yeah, that was one of the big stories there. So yeah,
So
I'm with you.
I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Zack Sabre Jr. We're agreeing on all of our picks here, but you know that's okay. I'm a big Zack Sabre Jr. fan. I know Silky's not a big fan of him, and technically
Yeah, I'm
speaking,
not a big and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those guys that's like, fuck him, he sucks. I don't.
No
it's
fucking
just
way.
not like I'm amazed at what he can do, like from a technical standpoint in that ring, but I think his character kind of doesn't match what he does.
He's
to me,
just so unique, and that's what I dig
yeah, his
about
style
him.
is unique,
It's
but like
so
his
unique.
character's been done to death. Like,
Yeah, and that's fine. And that's
Fucking
fine.
asshole who just doesn't give a shit about anything.
He
it
still
just
cracks me
doesn't
up, though.
match. To me, it just doesn't match how he wrestles.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean? So
still, the funniest interview I heard from last year was the one where he's talking about people doing fucking moonsaults off the balcony. You know, like, if you try to do moonsault on me from off the balcony, I'm going to move. Fuck's sake, what's wrong with these fucking cretins? He called them cretins instead of cretins. I mean, he doesn't look like a pro wrestler, and that's normally, you know, I'm old school like that. I like pro wrestlers to look like pro wrestlers, like to look like guys that are going out there and doing shit that I could never do, beating up on each other, you know, taking on other guys that I would never dream of fucking fighting because they're gigantic fucking beasts.
yeah.
He doesn't look like that. You
But
know?
I mean, when
he's
you see him
so
wrestle, it's
fucking
like
good.
it's believable.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna
Like
break
some of the-
every fucking bone in my body.
Now, David's not online. Again, we go back to the New Japan Cup in that submission he had Ibushi in, and Naito, and Tanahashi. But the one mainly was the Ibushi one, where I said it before, it's like a man's face should not be that close to his balls. Like, it was fucking amazing. Like, it's one of those, I can rewind that shit 4 times. I cannot figure out how he got him into that position. And I don't even know if Ibushi knew he could be put in that position.
No.
That's some embarrassing shit.
And
Like,
Daniel Price says
that hurts me as a man. Like, we'd have to fight afterwards. Like,
Fuck,
you
man.
gonna put my balls on my forehead on TV? Like, no. We gonna fight in the back.
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit.
I know. This is a bullshit.
Daniel Price says he saber like Juice Robinson like it was nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's just the shit that he comes up with, and it comes out of nowhere. It's pretty fantastic. You've also got the junior tag team championships on the line, which I always forget who's in these fucking matches except for Sho and Yo, because I can remember Roppongi 3K.
Yeah. It's I know it's Yoshinobu Kanemaru and El Desperado.
El Desperado, that's
they're
right.
the champions.
That's right.
Roppongi 3K, and then they're a third team? Or
There is a third team, yes. It's another Yo. I think he's talking about Ishii being short but strong as all get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could watch Tomohiro Ishii and
Zack Sabre. I think that's going to be a great match.
well, I was gonna say I watch him and Minoru Suzuki stand in the middle of the ring and just trade
yeah.
fucking stiff shots all
Those
day long.
forearms.
God dang, those guys are freaking hard hitting. So it's pretty amazing. So yes, we've got the
Let's see, I'm
the
pulling
junior
it up
tag
right
matches.
now.
Yeah, let's pull that up.
We probably should have done that before, you know.
Well, you know, I count on you to actually bring notes once in a while, but that's my problem.
Let's see. JY. Oh.
Bushi and Shingo Takagi.
Okay. Bushi and Shingo from Los Ingobernables. So I am going to go with Los Ingobernables.
I'm gonna take your word for it because I know nothing about any of these guys except for Roppongi 3K.
Yeah.
There we go. Suzuki-gun versus 3K versus LIJ. And we've got this is complete insanity here, and it'd take us half an hour just to read everybody who's in it. The Never Openweight 6-man championship #1 contenders match on the pre-show with everybody and their mother in there, including Lance Archer Jr. and Davey Boy
So
Smith.
I guess I already.
Lance
It looks
Archer
like
and
the
Davey Boy
team-
Smith Jr., I should say. Sorry.
Looks like the teams are going to be Togi Makabe, Toru Yano, and Ryusuke Taguchi, which is a weird pairing. Wait, no, because I thought Yano was in Chaos. But anyway, they're taking on Yuji Nagata, Jeff Cobb, and David Finlay, and also Hiroki Goto, Beretta, and Chucky T, the best friends.
Fucking Chucky.
Minoru Suzuki, Archer, and
Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Yeah,
that's my pick right there.
Suzuki
because I love those guys.
And then I guess the elite contingency of Hangman Page, Yujiro Takahashi, and Marty Scurll.
So Takahashi's girl's not going to be on the main broadcast. That's unfortunate.
Sad. I would say probably, if I had to pick one there,
got to take our boys Archer and Smith, man.
Yeah.
And Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, I'm going with them.
Yeah, got to go with them as well. And looks like we missed one more here.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Kushida taking on Ishimori there. Who you got?
Taiji Ishimori.
You got Ishimori? All right, then. I haven't seen a lot of Ishimori. I've seen more of Kushida. So, I'll go with Kushida, but don't take my word for it because I don't watch a lot of those guys there. So, anyway, just like you folks, we are excited for Wrestle Kingdom. Should be a great show. Should be a lot of fun. And we will be back to talk about it on Monday night, following Monday Night Raw. That'll be 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 for those of you on the East Coast, and 8 o'clock for those of you like Juanito who are out west with us. So, again, we will not be getting up at the butt crack of dawn this morning to watch Wrestle Kingdom, but we will catch it tomorrow. And, we'll check it out. We'll have a little chit-chat about it after the fact. Looks to be a very good show. I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of very good things, we got to make sure that we get this out before we get out of here. Have you got your Speez in the Benchmark t-shirt yet? Look at it. Look at it. Wait,
Look at that. Look at goddamn, you're
Bam,
fucking up.
there it is.
You're fucking it up.
Warning. Warning. Heel turn imminent. Tanahashi heel turn imminent. All right. Well, you could put Tanahashi's name on there after he joins the Bullet Club per Michael Berry Sr. All right, there it is. $20, that's all it is. Hit us up on Twitter at Speez Benchmark. Those of you listening on the podcast, hit us up on Twitter at Speez Benchmark and get yourself one of these shirts. They're fantastic. They're going all over the place. Jody Mania's got her shirt. Juanito's got his. Mac Diesel's got his. It's heading overseas to Darren Kirby and to our boy Liam. Yeah, I almost said Mushy there. So yeah, get yourself a t-shirt. It'll help the cause here as well. So, Silky Banes.
These bills need to get paid.
Indeed they do. Anything else to get out there for the people before we say good night and let them get some rest before Wrestle Kingdom? And thank you, Lit Mantis, for jumping in here and dropping some super hearts before we say good night.
All right. Just January 12th, I'll be back at the Katie's Elks Lodge. So if you're in Katy, Texas, or within a short drive, come down and see your boy.
All right, then. So, with that being the case, for the Benchmark Silky Banes.
Yo.
Chris Bezak, thank you so much for joining us for the Wrestle Kingdom preview. Enjoy the show, everybody, and we will see you Monday night, following Monday Night Raw, right here on the Speez and the Benchmark Show. Good night, everybody.